Jogo, the king of fire. Oh, never mind. Jogo, the king of domain expansion battles. Never mind about that too. For those who know Jogo already, he's famous for two things. No, not his fiery curse technique or his little volcano top, but losing to two of the strongest characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo and Sukuna. As much as Jogo was clowned in Jujutsu Kaisen, he's actually no slouch. Jogo is one of the 4 special grade disaster curses and was arguably the strongest one until Mahito had his final evolution, but actually there, you could argue for either side on who's stronger. But what exactly made this little volcano special grade? Well, I'll get to that. Jogo was born out of human's fear of volcanoes, and because this was a super big fear, it molded him into a super powerful cursed spirit that had massive levels of cursed energy. And with all that massive cursed energy, he had the power of disaster flames, his cursed technique. With this technique, it allows him to produce super hot concentrated cursed flames that burn up normal people on contact. But not only normal people, it even burns up first grade level sorcerers. His curse technique also allows him to shoot rays of fire and even create small volcanic openings that can also produce a large amount of fire too. He can also create ember insects that make loud noises to distract people and then explode on command. And if that wasn't enough, he has his maximum technique, Maximum Meteor. He can create a giant flaming meteor that is capable of leveling an entire city. He destroyed a large portion of Shibuya with this. And if Jogo still hasn't impressed you, he's one of the very few that has his own domain expansion. And his domain expansion is Coffin of the Iron Mountain. In this domain, most sorcerers would burn to a crisp as soon as they set foot in this domain. Yeah, I said most, because obviously this guy didn't burn up. So yeah, Jogo is actually pretty strong. Kenjaku says that Jogo's strength is about like 8 or 9 Sukuna fingers. Look, me personally, I feel like Kenjaku is being a little generous with 8 or 9 fingers, but hey, if he says it's 8 or 9 fingers and he was sure about it, then it's 8 to 9 fingers. But I know, even though Jogo is quite strong, sadly, he never won an actual 1v1 at all in the entire series. And that's thanks to these 2 monsters that just absolutely destroyed him. And because he lost to these monsters pretty easily, people forget that Jogo, outside of Gojo and Sukuna, is actually super strong. Like before the point that Jogo died, he would cook 90% of the verse in a 1v1. These 2 losses don't tell Jogo's full story, so let me tell you the full story. Jogo may have lost against Gojo, and Gojo clowned him the whole entire time, but remember, Gojo is the strongest modern sorcerer. And Jogo, even though he was called weak, held his own pretty well against Gojo. He took reversal red with no guard head on and didn't take too much damage. I mean, he basically got tossed around the whole entire forest and didn't die, so that's something, right? Oh my goodness, I get it, he got beat up badly, but come on, he survived it all. He even survived getting his whole head ripped off from his body. I know he's a curse, but he still survived it. More impressively, he recovered super fast from an unlimited void. Curses are more resistant to unlimited void because when Gojo hits normal humans with his domain for 0.2 seconds, that's enough to damage them for 2 whole months. And now his loss against Sukuna, we need to explain that one too. Against Sukuna, he survived constant hits and beatdowns from Sukuna, even got his jaw ripped off and was still able to fight. He also used his maximum technique and threw a giant meteor at Sukuna, and Sukuna said that actually would have hurt if it hit him. And even though ironically he lost in a firefight, damn, I wonder how a burn to a crisp Jogo tastes like. Huh? Okay, back to my point. Even though he was burnt to a crisp, he was one of the very few that Sukuna outright said he respected and said, "You're strong." It's actually kind of funny that the evil Sukuna was more nice to Jogo than Gojo was. So if you didn't know, Jogo is the only character in the entire series who not only fought Gojo, but also Sukuna. Hey, he didn't win, but that's something you can respect. But outside the 2 strongest characters in the series, how does Jogo stack up against the rest of the verse? Jogo for sure beats every sorcerer grade 1 and below. None of them stand a single chance against Jogo. He made that pretty clear in Shibuya. The only people on the good side you can say with 100% certainty will be able to beat Jogo is Gojo, Yuta, and Yuki. That's it. And for the bad guys, I would say it's safe to say that Jogo is one of the most powerful ones because of his speed, firepower, and domain expansion. It's hard to comfortably say that any of these culling game players or some of the other special grade curses will be able to beat him in a 1v1. It's kind of debatable. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Jogo is a lesson for all of you. Even if he only took L's, there was still some hidden W's under those 2 giant L's. He had the balls to fight the 2 strongest of the verse. Wait, actually, I don't think he has balls. Okay, Jogo had the stones to challenge the verse's strongest, and no one could say the same. So I want everyone to never forget about Jogo because, nah, he'd win.
Jogo 悟こっちを見ろ